Good evening, everybody, and welcome to episode 167 of In the Pits Paintball Podcast. This podcast is focused on everything that has to do with the paintball scene here in Texas, from professional players and teams to new divisional programs, local tournament series, field owners, Texas-based brands, even photographers and videographers. Every week, we'll have a short and sweet episode with a new topic and new special guest. I'm Christian Dallas Smith. I'm a player for the Texas Titans, and this episode, we're going in the pits with Jeremy Miller, coach of New Orleans Smoke. Jeremy, how are you doing this evening?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm happy to be here.
Good to hear, man. And real quick for everybody that's listening, we're going to have an announcement at the end of this show. You may have seen the post a few days ago when it got officially announced on Monday, but we'll have the official announcement here on the show at the end, so stick around. So yeah, Jeremy, it's good to have you on. I know New Orleans Smoke has been making its name known in Texas this year. And I've been talking big game about how Texas is going to be a very difficult regional scene to compete in, because I personally believe that the skill floor in Texas is much higher than the skill floors in other regions. But y'all went and just proved who deserved to be on top this year.
Yeah. And hey, we couldn't have done it without Drew, LAX, the whole LAX community, all of our sponsors, Violence, everybody. We just couldn't do it. We couldn't do it without those guys. So big shout outs to LA Extreme, Drew, all of the players, everybody, the community, everybody. So big shout out to those guys, man, because we couldn't do it without them for sure.
And speaking of the community, here in the chat, we've got the Paintball Lounge hopping in. Shout out to the Paintball Lounge. Go listen to his show.
Shout out to Zach, man. Shout out to Zach.
All righty. So let's go ahead and get started. This one's brought to us by XTPL Events. So for those listening that maybe don't know about you personally, how long have you been involved in the tournament paintball scene?
So I've been playing paintball total 5 years. My first year, just like I said, started just going to a party, and it all started from there, man. I got the knack for it. My first gun was like a Spider Phoenix or something. And moved into the mini GS, and the rest was history. So about 5 years.
All right. Yeah. A lot of people, it seems, got there. They jumped in or jumped back in around COVID times. COVID seemed to be a huge Kickstarter.
Around when I started. That's around like when I started, a little bit before that. Yep.
All right. So what teams have you either played for, coached, or been associated with over the years?
So I started with Destiny NOLA. I don't know if you know BPAX.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
I started with Destiny NOLA, and that was really good. I started with Destiny NOLA. Then I transitioned to playing. I played for the Bearcats for about a year or so. And then that went out. And then, like I said, I just fell back and started being a kind of the coaching deal after like the Destiny NOLA fizzled out, and the Bearcat deal. I started like coaching, man. I always had the knack for being like a leader, and we show up to events like without a coach. So I'm like, hey, and in Louisiana, there was PG, he coached Team 13, and then like nobody else had a coach. So I'm like, hey, I'm gonna learn the game, and I'm gonna watch all these guys, you know what I'm saying? And I started learning. I watched Mike Bianca a lot. I just started watching a lot of paintball. Like I got obsessed with it, and I just was like, hey, somebody got to hang it up early, so why not me? You know what I'm saying? So I hung it up early, and so now I just coach, and I enjoy every moment of it, dude. I enjoy like learning the game and watching it, and I still get out there and practice with the guys sometimes. When they make me mad, I'll suit up and go shoot everybody.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to hang it up for good by any means. Just get back out there every now and then.
It's not for good. I think I'm gonna do a 10-man. I was supposed to do a 10-man this year, but my fiance's in nursing school, so I couldn't make it. I was supposed to play 10-man with the guys this year, so they played. I'll probably do like a 10-man or something, or some little locals or something like that. Nothing too crazy though. I don't really want to play like anymore, if that makes sense. Like the guys, they'll tell me to get out there, but I don't really have a knack to play anymore.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, I know Dallas isn't too far of a drive for you guys. No. You can always head over to Paintball Fit, do a glow mech event or something, just do something a little bit different.
Yep, for sure.
All right. So here in the chat, we got Jonathan Turner. Shout out LAX and Smoke.
Turner, that's my dude.
All right. So this one is brought to us by Forteza. So tell us, what was it that got you into paintball to begin with?
Um, Competitive nature, dude. I'm competitive, man. I've been competitive all my life, from pee wee football to everything. And I grew up in a family where like everybody's competitive. All my uncles, all my brothers, they've all played college sports. I have an uncle that coached in the NBA. So it's just competitive, and it's just something about winning for me, dude. Like, I wish I could show you. I have all my medals and Lettermans and everything from Pee Wee football, dude. I'm super competitive. I hold winning to a whole different stature, man. And I have a 5-year-old son, and I tell him how important winning is too.
Yeah, it takes a different sort of drive to um, have the discipline in your preparation, especially to be the best. Just going out and really wanting it just isn't enough. And I think these competitive sports really teach you that lesson of just how disciplined and on top of your preparation you need to be, because that's where the
Mhm.
battle is won.
Right, right. It's one with the practices, leading up to the practices. We have guys that go out and jog. Just every
Mhm.
day, just two, 3 times a week, just to make sure they're ready to. If they have to play every point, you know what I'm saying? If we go down and we only have 30 seconds to win it, and we got to run up the fit, just to make sure they got that extra win. And I feel like a lot of dogs or come out when you're tired. You know what I'm saying? That's when
Mhm.
the dog come out. Is what you gonna do when you're down and you're tired. So that's why I talk to the guys a lot about that. Is, hey, what you gonna do when it's the last 30 seconds and we got to get this point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. And everybody in paintball can experience that. Paintball is one of those games where it's not over for you if you weren't born to be 6'6".
Right.
You
Now it
know?
ain't right. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's awesome that everybody gets to experience that.
Right.
We're seeing even this past year, these past 2 years, more and more women coming out and playing and doing really well.
Yep, yep.
And
Hey, those people, those young ladies are not pushovers at all. Uh I played against Haley LeVea a lot. She's a monster. She's a monster. So I know for a fact, I've been on the other side of that paint, playing against her, playing with her, and like I said, we was in a Destiny camp, so I know how that is for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So this one's brought to us by the San Antonio 3v3 series. So what are some things that you've noticed have changed within your local scene over the years, either for better or for worse?
I so for better, right? The Canes, man, when they came to LAX, that was like one of the greatest things ever, right? Because they at first they wasn't at LAX. They had their own. They had their own field. And when they came to LAX, it was, whoo, everybody wanted to get out there. It was like, playing against Stuart Ridgel and Drew Bell and all those guys week in and week out is like the best thing ever, right? And LAX is a smaller. It's not as, like I said, as big as Fit, where like
Mhm.
the Fit guys go out and there's a whole bunch of teams and you got to like wait your turn to play. You know what I'm saying? And at LAX, it's like these dudes are spinning every time and they want to play you. They want you to get better. So playing against those guys, man, was like one of the greatest things. You know what I'm saying? Was like one of the greatest things ever. It's like having those dudes there on those Sundays, Saturdays, whenever they could get out there, and then them giving us pointers about like how they killed you or why they killed you, or hey, why did you make this move if you knew I was here? You know what I'm saying? So just those dudes, man, coming into the LAX community was like probably the biggest thing ever.
Yeah, we've noticed a huge shift in the I guess in the balance of where the talent is
Yeah,
in the different regions. And when the Hurricanes made their move over to LAX, suddenly LAX became more of a hotbed. You're seeing more and more players, like even right now, and I think this past season definitely reflected that.
yeah. Like I said, bro, day in and day out, dude, playing those dudes was insane. And like I said, getting some of that pro knowledge, right? Because they're there for a reason. They're in the pros for the reason. So getting that pro knowledge and being able to spend one-on-one time with those dudes, and like I said, even getting to hang out with them, and
Mhm.
just talking to them about paintball was key, I believe, for everybody in the success this season.
Absolutely. And it's awesome that y'all now have similar resources to what a lot of players in Texas have had for years now. We've
Right.
got different hotbeds, whether it's Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, Austin. Like there's pro players in each of these hotbeds. Like obviously you've got some X Factor guys. You've got Jesse Stevens as well down at X Factor San Antonio.
Yep.
Over in Houston, you've had Nico Hyde, Devin Stewart. Corey Field just made this move over there now as well. Up in
Hmm.
Dallas, obviously, has always had a ton of talent, whether it's AC Dallas, AC Diesel, Paintball Fit. Um, just the names go on and on and on.
Hmm. And like you said, you'll see it. You'll see it. Those dudes are going to start taking advantage of, like I said, just even having a conversation with those guys. And it's going to translate 100%. It's going to translate. And we're going to see it throughout the season. I promise you that.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't want to forget his name either. Obviously, some other one offs on different teams, like Mike Urena living over in Houston, being a big resource. You've got Kyle Warner up in the Dallas area too. It's awesome that y'all are taking advantage of the opportunity that you now have.
Mm-hmm.
So here in the chat, lots of love coming in from Jared Fan. Let's go, Big Worm. There you go. Big 1K visual says Big Buford.
That's all the players. That's the players on the team.
Yeah, Blaine Perkle. That's my cousin. Nasty Nate stopping by. Let's go. And then Drixie says, no, that's my cousin. Alrighty. Okay, so this one is brought to us by the Splat Zone Trinity 3-man. So obviously, New Orleans Smoke hails out of LA Extreme, which put on an absolute masterclass across the USXBL events between your team as well as the event where some of y'all guessed it with the LA Extreme Camp. So what do you think is the reason that teams out of your field were just completely dominant this year?
Like it starts with the facility too, because Drew gives us a facility that's unmatched. We got a turf field, we got bathroom, it starts with the facility, but more or less, like I said, I think we just wanted it more, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. We get out there. A lot of people, I don't know if you follow Smoke Page on like Instagram and stuff like that, but a lot of people thought it was like a beef with us and the other LAX team, but it's not. It's like two big brothers that just wanted to win. You know what I'm saying? And so every weekend, like I said, day in and day out, we just grinded. We spent countless hours. We shot a bunch of paint against each other, and we just slugged it out. You know what I'm saying? So I think when you take two teams that just put winning as a priority over anything else, I think that's what you get. Like I think that's the end result. Is like when you go hard and you go out every Saturday, Sunday, or whatever the case may be, and you just practice and you spend countless hours on the box, reps. What I like to do at practice and as a coach, I never like to call like starting lines like for practice, unless it was like a layout practice or whatever. I never called lines. I wanted to shoot the most paint and I want to stay on the box. And all the guys on the team can vouch. I don't call lines at practice. Whoever's ready, get on the box because I just want to put in the most reps. Eventually, it'll get to where like, okay, I see these 5 guys. These are my starters, this, that, and the third. But I never call lines unless it's a layout practice because I want them to get more reps. So for a blind layout, that didn't matter anyway. So I was like, all right, we're gonna get 10 cases to start the day, right? We're going to get 10 cases to start the day, and we're going to shoot through it or whatever. But if I have 5 on the box every time, if another team beats us on the box, I'm pissed. You know what I'm saying? But I want 5 people, because I have 8 people on my team. I want 5 people on the box every time. I don't care. I want 5 people on the box. I want the most reps today. If we shoot 20 cases at practice, we shot 20. But we're not leaving until we just can't play anymore. You know what I'm saying? I just want to shoot the most paint. I want to get the most reps. I never called lines unless it was a layout practice.
And I think that is going back to your theme of learning how to win and that competitiveness. That is an important lesson that these players have to learn, that they need to want to be there for them. for themselves. And having that energy, that passion, that fire, to want to just, you know what, I'm here for me because I want to dominate everybody else. Therefore, I'm going to make sure I get my reps.
Right.
And I'm going to make sure I do what I need to do to be better. And having that mentality, or figuring out what that mentality is like, is an important skill. It's a skill. And, some people it comes more naturally to than others. But being more concerned with you being like, go be that guy, go want to be that guy on the field, off the field, in everything that you do in your approach.
Right.
So this one is brought to us by BEMREPS. So the Hurricanes have called LAX home for the last couple of seasons. And since then, more and more teams have come out of your area and made their mark on Texas. So a couple of teams that come to mind: LAX, New Orleans Smoke, Team 13, and the Bearcats. So what kind of involvement do you see at LAX? I know we've talked a little bit about, Drew Bell and what all he's providing, and a bit about, getting to play
not
against
Drew
some
Bell.
of these Hurricanes.
Drew Bankston.
Drew Bankston.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is it that like you see as far as the involvement with the New Orleans Hurricanes players, like week in and week out?
I think like I said in the beginning, I think they made it to where like people want to come play, right? They hear like, oh, there's a pro team at this field. Let me go meet this. Even if it's like people, that kind of know paintball or whatever, they want to be around the pros, right? So I think, like I said, over the course of this year, I think LAX, the field fielded like 2-3-man teams in just USXBL Texas, right? They fielded like two beginner 3-man teams, 2 D4 lines. The Bearcats did well in elite. So we're bringing like 6 to 7 teams across the whole USXBL from one field, right? And so, like I said, I think a lot of that has to do with like the Hurricanes like being there and making it to where like people wanted to play paintball. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, even before the Hurricanes, man, LAX was the place to be. Like, it was the place to be. Going all the way to the local event that they had called LAX Ball. LAX was the place to be, man. And we had at one point, I believe LAX had about 12 teams just at this one field. 12 different organizations at one field, and it was crazy. So like I said, even before the Hurricanes, LAX was just the place to be. I think they intensified it because, like I said, people just want to be around the pros and soak up some of that game. But LAX was always the place to be for sure.
For sure. I know Jesse Stevens speaks pretty fondly of his time back when he was in Louisiana coming up in the game. I remember a couple of years ago when Bunkerfest had the Mardi Gras event there back, I think it was in 2022, I want to say, that I'm getting to go to that field for the first time. I think they had one turf field and then the other one was grass.
It's grass. They had Drew had just got that grass. We had put the nets up. Dude, I remember cleaning up the field and putting the poles in. I remember all that stuff, bro. I remember all that stuff. It was good. It was good. Yeah, they had just built the other field. Yep.
And now I'm sure it looks quite different. I mean, it's been a year since I've been there, but I know that from when I was there back in December of last year, they have made a lot of changes since then. It's definitely had a lot of growth.
Yeah, a lot of growth. So we just trying to keep it rolling, man. Trying to keep it rolling.
For sure. So getting more into who you are as a person, this one's brought to us by Mariachi Aguilas de Oro. So I found a few years ago that you were releasing products out of your personal clothing brand, which was Purified the brand.
Yeah.
So what all was it that got you into that?
So Purified, it wasn't like nothing to do with like paintball. It was solely like, like hip hop fashion and stuff like that. When I was younger, dude, I'm a bigger dude. So my brother's a skinnier guy, so he always made fun of me and stuff like that. But he always told me, "Hey, if you want to get the girls, bro, you gotta look good and you gotta smell good." So cologne and clothes and nice shoes, man. That's always been my thing. So starting the brand for me was like, "Hey, I'm gonna just make my own clothes." So that's all it was. It's nothing crazy. And then the name Purified just came with like, stay pure with yourself. Be purified. Stay you. You don't gotta fake it to kick it, or you know what I'm saying? It's just be you, be yourself. And Purified, it just came about and I started making, it started with shirts, made a couple hoodies, a couple hats, different things like that. But that's it. Just a small fashion brand, man, that just I was one of those big fly guys. That's what I like to do, man. I love clothes, I love shoes, dude. So that's all it was.
Love it. Yeah. That's interesting little side thing. I think we need to find out more about like the complete human beings that are so many of these characters that are in our community, not just make it all about paintball, and paintball's going to just take and take more and more of you. Like we want to know about like the other stuff that makes you,
Hmm.
not just you the paintball player, you the paintball coach,
Yeah.
you the person that spends all of this money on paintballs. Like give us the other things as well.
For sure.
um so yeah, do you have any plans, and this one's brought to us by Colt Roberts and Paintball Community, do you have any plans on coming back into that?
Maybe in the future. Maybe in the future. I kind of like slowed down. Like I said, I have a son now, so just slowed it down a little bit. And paintball's definitely taking a lot of my time. That was crazy. Talking to different manufacturers all day and just making sure the product was good enough to hit the streets. Like you can't give out no half-ass product. So, talking to the manufacturers and the people who make the clothes and designers and a lot. It was a lot. It was a lot. So to balance that in paintball, whew, it was a headache for sure.
Yeah, a lot of coffee, I'm sure. Not a whole lot of rest. All
Yeah.
right. So we got a question here from John Doe 8762. He asked, "Do you listen to drill music before games?"
Um. Here's what I will tell you. I don't know if anyone has his own video, but drill music, no. But my favorite song, go look up Lil Jon Head Buster. That's one of my. That's gonna get me going. I'm gonna run through a wall.
All right.
John Doe.
Here you go. Go listen to it.
Go listen to
Uh,
Head Buster.
yeah, Blaine Perkle knows all about it.
Yeah.
All righty. So this one's brought to us by Jared Sherman and his website, texandhemp.com. So throughout your entire paintball career, what's been your single favorite moment so far?
Definitely winning USXBL because I think it showed that if you just work hard and you stay down, and when it's your turn, it's your turn. And so, like I said, just hard work. But winning USXBL was definitely it, and showing everybody that on the scale, this team that really no one's like really heard about, or they're from a smaller field or whatever. That like if you just work hard, you can do it.
All right. Yeah, I love it. Definitely definitely an easy pick there. That's a great moment. So this one is brought to us by 71 Designs, which is owned by my friend Wade Martin, the owner of the Meanies Camp. So New Orleans Smoke and its players had almost a perfect record in USXBL this year. So you had a first place and a second place under the New Orleans Smoke name, as well as several players getting another first place under the LAX name. So how did the season feel for you, like living it in the moment?
It was a lot of like surreal moments. It was like, man, I can't believe we're doing this. Like making it to the finals in that second event was like insane, right? Because like I said, a lot of the guys on the team, they had never been this far. Like nobody got a second or first. It was a lot of these guys like first and second places on their
Mhm.
APPAs, right? So like making it, we were like, oh my God, we here. You know what I'm saying? And then the hunger in us was like, nah, we here. So it's just different, man. And like I said, these smoke dudes, man, these dudes are different, bro. These dudes are different, and everybody in the chat could probably attest to that, dude. These dudes are different. We got some dogs for sure, bro. These dudes are different.
Yeah, and as Ross Saunders, who is old AC Dallas name. He's coached the FSU camp on and off over the years. A saying of his is winning is contagious.
One
And
thousand
once
percent.
you get that first one, man, you're like, all right, well, I don't want this to stop. It makes you work even harder to
Right.
keep it going.
Right. It's like I like that feeling. Let me get that back for sure. And like you said though, to win one with the LAX camp, because I actually coached that
Hmm.
event with the LAX camp. Um, and to get two back to back was like, oh man, this is crazy, you know. At the end, you know, so to get two back to back, it was crazy. So like I knew what it felt like to win one, and I was like, man, we gotta get one with smoke, you know. So we made it happen.
Yeah, for sure. So this one's not on the list of questions that I sent you, but I figure I'd surprise you with one at least.
Yeah.
So I noticed on PB Leagues for the USXBL Championships that you also had Jonathan Chavez listed under the coaching staff
Yeah.
section. So
Yeah.
what was
So
it like getting to work with him throughout the year?
So funny story. Funny story. All right. So I was at work one day, and like I said, my fiance's in school. So my son, I didn't have like nobody to like watch him, right? Because a lot of my family live out of town, and I didn't have nobody to like watch him. So my buddy Jared, Fun, and Blaine, those are like my road dogs, right? We
Mhm.
all live within like 2 minutes away. Jared literally lives like a block away. Blaine lives in like the next neighborhood to us. So they call me at work and they're like, dude, what we got to do to get you to go to USXBL? Like, what we got to do? And I said, well, look, it's nothing we could do. I don't have a babysitter. So I call my mother-in-law. She's an entrepreneur. And she's like, I don't have any events or whatever. You could drop them off. So I dropped my, I told my fiance, I said, your mom said she could watch them. It was literally at like 4 in the morning. Them dudes pulled up and I had like no time to like pack a bag. So I just threw a whole bunch of stuff in the bag and I hopped in the truck. So I didn't even know if I was going. So they hired Chavi as a coach. And so they hired him as a coach as if I wasn't going. So I was like, well, you know, I found out I was going. And me and Chavi, man, learning from him, dude. We got some calls from him. We got, you know, hey, Chavi looked out for us, man. He did a lot for us, dude. And just having him along, like I said, his
Mhm.
experience, knowing when to call a timeout, knowing when to run what plays, knowing, you know, where to put, you know, specific player. It was just a lot, you know, and that was like one of the first or second times that we had like really met Chavi, and he haven't really like seen us play. I'm sure he has because he was at USXBL, but like not really knowing who to put in what positions and what to do, he made it look like it was second nature. You know what I'm saying? Like he really made
Mhm.
it look like, you know, we didn't skip a beat. So being able to coach with him side to side, man, that was great. That was great, and I'd do it times over. You know what I'm saying? But it was like he wasn't. It wasn't. We didn't miss a beat. We didn't miss a beat. The guys
Mhm.
loved him. It was just I don't know if it would have went that well with anybody else. I'll be honest. That's how like perfect it was, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Jonathan Chavez is someone where if you have the opportunity to go get him, you should be going to get him. I mean, there's a reason why Paintball Fit is the number one team in the world,
Yeah.
and he plays for them every single point.
Right.
Like he does not leave the field.
Right.
So if you're able to get a paintball, someone with that level of pedigree, go do it. Even if it's just for one event,
Mm-hmm.
like soak in everything that you can,
Right.
because that experience is going to be valuable.
Yep. And like I said, it was crazy because it was a last minute thing, man. It was a last minute thing. I think the guys had been looking for a coach for like 2 to 3 days, and you know everybody was either taken because of the event was coming up, and Chavi came up out of the woodworks like, "Yo, what's up?" You know, so the guys went with the move, and we got him, man. We got him.
All right. Yeah. I mean, it was cool to see that you guys were able to continue that. I mean, I know on the pre event show that myself and Robert Jordan were doing here on the channel, I was saying it. I was like, hey, just because these guys aren't higher seated in the prelim brackets, like, don't sleep on them. They've got a near perfect record going into this event. And y'all did prove me right on my predictions there.
Yeah.
So thank you for that, making me look like I actually know what I'm talking about.
Hey, don't count us out, bro. Don't count us out, man. We were ready for war every time for sure.
All right. So this next question is brought to us by Hydra. So looking to the future, I see that New Orleans Smoke is currently signed up for the first Florida USXBL event in the Elite Division. Obviously you're not paid yet, but your name is on that list. So,
Hmm.
what plans does the organization have for 2026?
I know for a fact we're gonna play all of Texas USXBL. Um, I want to say we're gonna sprinkle in some of the NXLs. I'm not sure which ones yet if we do them. And we're just filling out this Florida event. It's further from home. I want to say it's like 10 hours, 11 hours.
Hmm.
Like I said, it is further. So we'll sprinkle in. I know for a fact we're gonna play the first one though. We're gonna play that first one and see how it is. We're moving into D3. It's a jump. It's a jump for sure. So I want to say we're gonna play that first one for sure. But for Texas, we're really focused on USXBL Texas. Like that's the baby, trying to win that one.
Yeah, and I know we were talking a little bit pre-show about that jump into D3, especially like the elite division,
Yeah.
where the roster rules are a little bit different than standard
Mhm.
D3. Like it is a big jump
It
for a
is.
lot of teams. D3 is a very tough year, one that a lot of teams spend multiple years in trying to master Division 3.
Hmm.
Um, but I mean, for you guys, coming into it as hot as you are, I think it's going to set up for some exciting battles, not just for your team coming in to shake up the existing status quo, but also some of the other teams that are making the jump alongside you, such as your sister team LAX. You've got the Gunners down in San Antonio that have been hot all year, um, going back and forth with y'all. I think there's one or two more that are due to make the jump as far as being forced up due to
Hmm.
points.
Hmm.
So there's going to be some excitement in the
Yeah.
elite division this
We've
year.
we've made some roster changes. We've made some roster changes, and we got some killers, man. We got some killers, So it's gonna be a great one for sure, and I think we're gonna shock the world. So hey, and like you say, all we could do is grind and play more paintball and play more paintball. And like I said, we kind of have it good to where like we can go out Saturdays and Sundays. We can go out on Sundays and like the field is like, it's ours initially. You know what I'm saying? So we could play it just as much as anybody.
Mhm.
Whether it's drills, whether it's one-on-ones, whether it's down body situationals, we can do it. We can do it. So it's gonna be good. Like I said, we made some roster changes, so
All
it's gonna
right.
be a good one for sure.
No, well, we're excited to see what y'all have in store. Just looking at the top six teams from Division 4, you've got OKC Mutiny, who ended up winning the series, LA Extreme D4, Houston Zone Kids, the Gunners, Outlaw Anodizing Green, and then LAX Black.
Hmm.
That I'm assuming all six of those teams are going to be forced up. Obviously, some of those organizations like Zone Kids and Outlaw Anodizing already have a line in the elite division. So we'll
Hmm.
see what all that looks like. But that's potentially six teams joining the already like around 10 or 11 that are there.
Hmm.
So suddenly the elite division is getting bigger and bigger.
What's the cap on the amount of teams in the elite division USXBL? Is there a cap?
I'd have to let me look. So at the championship, the cap was 14.
Hmm.
So that being said, I mean we had 11 at the 2025 championship, and we've got potentially six teams moving up. So
Yeah.
as soon as the entry opens up in I think early January, be sure you go get paid, otherwise you're gonna get
Yeah,
locked
because I'm
out.
about to say I seen Cap City Charge was doing like a tryout for players. I've seen a lot of stuff. So hey, you never know. Mike might have to boost it up a little bit, Mike. If you're on here, I don't know if you're on here, if you're gonna watch this, but hey, Mike, potentially the D3 Elite Division might look like the D4 from last year when we had 30 teams or whatever it was, and we had to play like the whole thing that one day. The championship, we had to play the whole thing Sunday. We had to do ochos, we had to do everything all in one shot. So
Well, yeah, be ready for a long day. That's for sure. If you're going to be playing any of these divisions next year, really, I think the USXBL is only going to get bigger.
yeah, for sure. I believe it will. I believe it will also.
Yeah, Trixie says it says the cap is 20 as of now. Still, I think that's going to fill up fast.
It's gonna fill up fast for sure. It's gonna fill up fast for sure. And like I said, that's big, man. That's big. I've been playing USXBL for a while now, And I don't think I've ever seen past 14 teams or something like that,
Mm.
in the elite division.
Yeah. So Drixie, I am seeing 20 over in the USXBL Florida, but for the first USXBL Texas event, that cap still does say 14.
It's gonna be way bigger.
So,
I think it's gonna be a lot bigger.
yeah, be ready. Be ready with your credit cards and do not get locked out.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be big. That's one of those like you're waiting to put your money on the thing, like so that's gonna be big.
That's how pre-COVID, that's how USXBL was in D4 when the cap was 20. If you were not paid within the first 10 minutes, there's a good chance you got locked out.
Yeah, you didn't have a spot for sure.
All right. So this question is brought to us by Get That Shot, who is a pro media guy down in the Valley. Message him on Facebook or Instagram if you're needing media coverage at any event this upcoming year, whether it's NXL, USXBL, XTPL, any local events. Hit him up if you're wanting media coverage. So, Jeremy, this is a question that I ask everybody that comes on the show. It helps me kind of keep track of the up and comers, the other individuals that are making a big difference in our community. So, is there anybody out there? It could be a team, a player, a brand, a project, a community member that you believe deserves more recognition for what they're doing.
There's a couple. Shout out to Violence again. Violence is Ben Challenger is an amazing young man. Shout out to Violence. I don't know if he can get any bigger, but Verbal. Man. Verbal's that guy, man. Verbal, we hire Verbal every event. He's just our guy. Verbal is our guy. There's another one that's in the LAX community a lot. Stephanie Sandu Photography. Mm-hmm. She's in the LAX community. She takes a lot of pictures at practice. She travels. She does a vlog like with some of the teams and players and stuff like that. Who else? Now that you put me on the spot, I can't really think. High Stakes Paintball. I want to say he's out of California. He does like bands and stuff. High Stakes. Just everybody who sponsors New Orleans Smoke, dude. I want to get them as big as possible. Everybody, Like I said, High Stakes, Violence, Verbal, Stephanie. Everybody who sponsors New Orleans Smoke, I want them to get bigger. So.
Alrighty.
Right.
Yeah. One person that I want to shout out, I shout him out basically every time I experience anything that has to do with New Orleans paintball. That's Seth Dolan. If you remember Royal Cheesecake from a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I still am trying to lobby him to be a vendor at some of these events. I want to
say he had a booth at Mardi Gras Open, dude. I think he did. He was right there in the front. Yeah, he did. That was before
I bought a lot of cheesecake that day.
Yep. Seth. Yep. Had some good scrimmages against his team too when I was coming up, man. Those are good people.
Yeah, for sure. So Seth, if you're out there listening, please come be a vendor at USXBL. And I will guarantee you at least my business for sure. So, alrighty. I think that just about does it. For anybody that's here in the chat, if you have any questions for Jeremy, go ahead and get them in now because we're getting ready to close out. So real quick, that announcement that I had said earlier, for those of you that did not see the official post on Monday, In the Pits has the huge honor of being a nominee for Podcast of the Year for the 2026 Summit Awards. If you head over to Major League Paintball's website, they've got the link to vote for all of the Summit Award categories. There's some fantastic individuals up for nomination across all of the different categories. Lots of individuals from Texas, several Paintball Fit players, TJ Danner. I think Verbal is in for a couple of categories. Dan Shelley, just to name a few off the top of my head. I'll probably be doing more here in a little bit, as far as maybe doing some collaboration with all of the Texas members that made the ballot. So please go vote over on Major League Paintball's website. Again, this is a huge honor that my show is on. I think we're going up against Spick and Span, Play the Game, The Coach's Show, and Shelda Podcast. So just an absolute star-studded list. Please go vote. Even if you don't vote for me, go vote. All right. So looking at the chat, Jonathan Turner says there were 17 teams at the first event last year in Elite. I think that's going to go up.
Wasn't that?
Um,
That's a
all
lot.
right. Yeah, that is a whole lot. Um, Jared says, tell them about the smoke roster changes. Any juice that you can give us here?
So it's four of the original Smoke members, and then four of the guys from LAX. So it's gonna be a movie for sure every time. It's gonna be a movie every time. It's Jared, Blaine, Josue, Q, Austin, Adrian, Guy Jones, and Conrad. I want to say that's in Taylor Smith. So four of the four Smoke guys, or is it no? That's five Smoke guys. I want to say, and four of the guys from the LAX camp. So we putting it together, and we gonna do it. We gonna do it, and hopefully, like I said, we gonna shock the world for sure. So y'all just stay tuned, man. Stay tuned. Follow the NO Smoke Instagram page, and it's gonna be a movie for sure.
Yeah, for those that have been paying attention to the USXPL stream this year, those are some names that were said a lot in the booth. So be sure to not sleep on those guys if they end up on your schedule. That's for sure.
Yeah. So like I said, it's gonna be some grinding practices, man. Because like I said, picking this line and making the line what it is, it had to be. It was a list that we had to check off before a lot of the decisions was made, right? It was okay, who played paintball at a high level throughout the whole year, right? Who played at a high level this whole year. And then like I said, a lot of the behind the scenes things, it was like, we have to see who still wants to play, after a rock star season, you know what I'm saying? So I picked 9 like-minded guys, right? That could afford to do this at a high level and not hold back, right? So, hey, wife, I got to be gone at the paintball field for, 12 to 13 hours. Like, can you do it? You know what I'm saying? So it's those guys that, was okay with like leaving home for some hours, you know what I'm saying? And wanting to grind and wanting to get in and then making each other better. And then another thing too is it's only can have 5 people on the field, right? So it was dudes that knew that were starters on each respective team, right? That are now coming together, and it's like I have to fight for a spot because every day that dude could take my spot. Every practice, every day, whatever. So if it's gonna be a brawl at practice, it's gonna be a brawl. But guess what? When it's the other 5 people on the box, what's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted 8 like-minded people that could do it, and I think we got it. You know what I'm saying? I think we got it. So it's gonna be a movie for sure.
And that's huge to have the depth to where it doesn't matter what 5 are on the box, we're gonna win.
Right. That's it.
All right. So I think that just about does it. Jeremy, thank you so much for your time. Do you have any last shout outs or things you'd like to say before we sign off?
Shout out to the team. Shout out LAX. Shout out Drew. Thank you for the amazing facility. Violence, high stakes, verbal. Everybody that's like been a part of this journey, because like I said, we started from nothing. You know what I'm saying? It was a D5 team. And we just grew this to be what we wanted it to be, and if anybody's attest to being nothing to something, this is what it is. You could see it through the Instagram, So if go check it out, just check it out, and it's we post a lot, whether it's videos, pictures, whether we're making fun of each other, we post a lot, and we want you to feel like you're in it with us, you know what I'm saying? So everybody just check it out. And like I said, shout out to everybody who support No Smoke. Shout out to LAX and everybody. So that's it.
All righty. So that does it for our show. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Be sure to go follow Jeremy at primetime.millie on Instagram. Also go follow New Orleans Smoke. That's n.o_smoke. What other guests would you all like to see on the show? Be sure to leave a comment down below. While you're at it, hit that subscribe button. The show goes live Wednesday evenings here at 7:30 p.m. Central on youtube.com/@Major League Paintball. And recordings are posted to YouTube, Amazon, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify the next day. I want to give a quick shout out to my partner and sponsor tier subscribers on Patreon: Get That Shot, Paintball Comité, Bem Raps, Hydra, XTPL Events, Mariachi Aguilas de Oro, the San Antonio 3v3 Series, 71 Designs, TexanHemp.com, and the Splat Zone Trinity 3-Man, as well as Forteza. Lastly, I want to give a thank you to Major League Paintball for hosting the show. We will see you guys next week for episode 168. Jeremy, thank you so much.
Thank you.